Hey there, guys. Well, at least I'm sitting in my chair. This is Kate. And if you don't know me, I'm a multi certified life coach, health coach, etc. I'm an author, a songwriter, and a Christian speaker. And I've been, yes, on my bed for a few days. Well, not quite on my bed because they do make you work, but hard when you do have this sort of operation. But finally, my knee gave out. Yes, it went bye byes. And I sort of want to talk a little about that today, not to tell you about necessarily my experience, but how our brains can actually confuse us at times and not really tell us the truth about what is going on, sometimes in our own life, sometimes about a situation. And in my case, I think for several years about my physical health of my left knee. So, some of you may have read my blog called I Felt Like a Fake. So, and I want to talk just a little about that because I think there's not only me sometimes that feels like a fake sometimes. Well, I've had this knee problem for a long time. We have bad knees in our family. I don't know why, and I got blessed with one that, yeah, it got really, really out there from playing tennis on a clay court when we shouldn't have been playing on a clay court. And that was the beginning of the end in about 1995. The truth is, I should have handled it a lot sooner than I actually have. But if that's the right word, or maybe I should say, though, I chose to believe my own brain that said, you're fine. You're not in a wheelchair. You're not using a walker. You're not in a cane. You can still get around. And the truth was, I can. And I have been able to get around, but in a limited capacity. And it's sort of that old story like, you throw the live lobster in the pot and he doesn't know that he gets boiled. Well, that happened to me and can sometimes happen to other people as well, is that we just keep going along with the story that we keep telling ourselves, even though it's actually lost its validity. It's not true anymore. And my x rays were showing me what was true. My brain was trying to tell me that I was perfectly okay. And okay, so I couldn't really wear my nice shoes anymore because I couldn't wear any sort of heel. Yeah, I couldn't walk around Costco for any length of time because those cement floors are unforgiving. Yeah, any floor that is like cement or tile is not great for me. And I would just put up with that. It wasn't until really I got to a point where I couldn't exercise the way I wanted to. And I am a really exercise buff. I've been doing weights since 1979, long before it was popular. And I got to the point where I really didn't want to go to the gym because I knew, one, walking up those stairs to go to the, treadmill or the bikes was really difficult for me because it was a double set of stairs. And I couldn't really walk up them one by one by one. I couldn't put my full weight on my left leg any longer. So I stopped doing that. And gradually I found myself compensating in different areas because I did not want to really look at what was actual truth. And the actual truth was in the x ray. The x ray was showing that, not only was there no space between the bones in my left knee, it looked like they were fused together. It was in a bad state. It was constantly swollen. It, had a big bump on the side from arthritis. And constantly it caused me some sort of pain or something that tripped me up. So why do we want to keep living on in some sort of fairy tale world that we tell ourselves everything's okay? Sometimes things aren't okay, but sometimes also we tell ourselves that things aren't okay and they really are okay. Our brain has this ability to want to stay the same. It doesn't like to work hard, and it would rather be sitting on the couch with the poodle and the bonbons. And I can tell you that every morning and every afternoon these days, it's like a full-time job to rehabilitate my knee. And I'm only 1 week today from surgery, and I am so grateful that I am doing as well as I am. But I remember the first words out of my mouth when we walked into the hospital last Tuesday morning at 5:30. I looked around and here was people my own age, maybe slightly older, but in my age group, and they're being helped out of cars and put in wheelchairs, and they've got canes and they've got walkers and they're limping. And I'm walking in here looking like there's nothing really wrong with me at all. And when I sat down, the first words out of my mouth to my amazing hubby, who has been just awesome through this whole adventure, let's call it that, I turned around and I said, I feel like a fake. Why did I feel like a fake? Because outwardly you couldn't see anything was wrong? Well, how many of us are walking around putting a smile on our face, or our outward being is not really showing what we're feeling inside, or what is happening in our lives that we should be reaching out and asking for prayer or asking for help? How many of us are doing that, and why do we do it? It's just a simple thing. Our brains are wired with all these excuses, all these old memories, all this old stuff that we believe, and we have not sorted through the thoughts in there that just aren't serving us anymore. And I did explain what serving meant last week. And if you don't remember that, go back and look at last week's videos. And yes, I apologize. I missed yesterday. And that was just because it was a big day yesterday. I also found that on this journey, it was automatically assumed that this was the medication that was prescribed for this particular operation. And no, we're not going to listen about anything else. Well, it turned out that the week before my operation, I was actually prescribed 2 medications that I was allergic to. And nobody had really taken notice of what was going on my chart. I'm one of those people that, I just don't have a great reaction to drugs, and I can get into sort of places that aren't particularly nice when I take certain drugs. And I was prescribed 2 drugs that were going to have severe adverse effects on me. I tried to convince my little nurse that maybe this wasn't a great idea, and maybe I could use this sort of pain medication, or I could use this relief instead of going this really heavy way of either taking a narcotic or an opioid. I don't do those well. I chose not to take either of those sorts of drugs and opted for my little old drug that wasn't supposed to work because it's just over the counter. But it did. It did work. Now, did it have some failings? Yes, it did. But then I have this amazing, what would you say, natural medicine cabinet, which I discovered only a few years ago. I never ever understood the benefits of essential oils. They really, really fascinated me. And for anybody's benefit out here, I am actually a certified essential oils coach with Life University and Dr. Axe. So I do know that there are benefits to using essential oils sometimes instead of something that is a lot heavier and a lot less natural. So when I did get into a little bit of trouble, I automatically went to my arsenal and my books and my natural medicine and found absolutely amazing results from one. I mixed up by myself, one I found that was already mixed and I already had it in my medicinal cabinet. Now, I have had people say to me, oh, they're too expensive. And they'll go off and they'll buy an essential oil from the grocery department or, somewhere that is cheap. Well, good essential oils, if you think about how they're produced and the effort and time that goes into actually producing those essential oils, then your normal reaction would be if it's too cheap, it mustn't be really working or it can't be a pure essential oil, which is why when I decided that I wanted to try some of this, I did go for, yes, I went for the pure essential oil, which I know works. And then I go, I know that this isn't going to harm my body. And yet, if I had have taken some of the other things, what effect was that going to have on not only my body, but my brain and my state of awareness? So that is my particular choice. But I want to make you aware today that your brain can take you up paths where you think, well, if they say it's right, it must be right. Not necessarily true. If your brain is telling you you're okay and yet you can't function properly, then it's not telling you the truth. What I want to say today is seek the truth. Look for yourself. Do your own homework. There are times when, gosh, I am so thankful for the clever surgeons last week who gave me a brand new knee, and that I will be grateful for so long. And that this old one went out the window and I got a brand new one. And I am grateful for their expertise. And I am grateful for every bit of help that I got on this journey. But look at your options. If you have a aha moment, if you have a stop sign, look and find out what is the truth for you. What truth is there for you? And remember, when we're telling ourselves we feel like a fake, we probably aren't. That's just our brain protecting ourselves. So I'm going to leave you for today because today is a great day. There's many more blessings coming today. And I challenge you to go in this month of Thanksgiving, go and find the smallest blessing today, because there is one today in your life. I will see you tomorrow, and that's it. Bye-bye for now.